Well, we did promise you more coverage on this yesterday. So it is National Marine Month and National Marine Week also coinciding with these broadcasts. And this is, of course, to create awareness of South Africa's marine and coastal environments and also the benefits that our oceans bring to the nation. So let's cross now to SABC News reporter Jayed Paulse, who is in Umhlanga for us this morning. Jayed, such an interesting insert there, looking at, sharks and obviously how they're moving and how they're being hunted. But of course, there's a lot more with regard to Marine Week and everything that goes along with it.
Well, a very good morning to you, Sakina. And yes, I'm wearing blue, ocean blue, just to give back to nature, give back to conservation and really celebrate Marine Week, as you say. And yes, many people are asking, why are we talking about sharks? Why do we care that they are migrating or they're changing their locations? It is important because they play a vital role in keeping our ecosystems in balance, as well as the food chain in balance. Now, when I was doing that insert, I also did some reading, and one of the studies that I read upon, there was a professor that also had his input in, and he spent some time in Algoa Bay conducting the study. And I'm very privileged to be joined by Professor Matt Dicken this morning, who's going to unpack for us the importance of the marine life, why we celebrate Marine Week, and also the localization and semi-decline of some of our white sharks in the Western Cape and where exactly they're moving to. Thank you so much for joining us, Prof, this morning. I think let's go straight into it. Let's talk about the decline or, the movement of some of the bigger sharks, the apex predator, the white shark from the Western Cape. You and I spoke that they are moving to a bit of warm waters.
Yeah, what's interesting is around about 2017, 2 killer whales turned up. We call them port and starboard. And at about that very same time, the white sharks started disappearing from False Bay and Huns Bay. There's 2 primary aggregation sites for white sharks in the Western Cape. Now, interestingly, at the same time, there was a corresponding increase in the abundance of white sharks, particularly in the Eastern Cape. Plettenberg Bay, Mossel Bay, Algoa Bay, and even into the Wild Coast. So what we think is that through fear, orcas were predating on white sharks, and through that fear, it was literally chasing white sharks away from the Western Cape into the Eastern Cape. So rather than looking at a decline of white sharks in South Africa, that's not quite the case. It's more of a localized decline in the Western Cape and a range redistribution to other areas.
In terms of, the conservation of these animals and also keeping our oceans in check, because they do play a very big role, is there a concern that they are moving away? And then if we talk about marine life as a whole, what can we do on land also to give back to the animals out at sea? I mean, where we're standing right now, you can see there's so much litter on the ground. So how do we play a vital role?
Yeah, one of the most pressing concerns at the moment is obviously global warming. Global warming is causing an increase in ocean temperatures. It's causing ocean acidification, sea level rises, and that's having unparalleled and cascading effects throughout the ecosystem. United Nations suggests that by the end of this century, almost 50% of species will be threatened with extinction. We're at a crossroads. We can choose to do nothing, which could result in the loss of marine species, or we can decide to make a change. We can do something for our children, for those that come after us, to build the resilience and create a legacy of a healthy environment.
I think we all need to play our part, especially in this week, and not only in this week, but at all times, making sure that we pick up litter around us and keep our oceans clean. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Matt Dicken.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Well, also, Sakina, I was also reading up that by 2050, there'll be more plastic pollution in the ocean that will outweigh the fish in our ocean. It's just something for us to think about as we go on our day. It's back to you in studio.
Well, thanks so much, Jayed Paulse, and this is why this awareness is so important. The facts there, staggering, and this is, of course, what we are faced with. Right, hopefully we'll learn more, we'll hear more. It is, of course, Marine Week here in South Africa, so really enjoying all of these inserts and the crossings with our reporters.